more creators on social media are feeling overwhelmed trying to keep up with all of the social media trends that's going on right now. So, how can creators stay trendy without feeling stressed? My question to you, Michelle, what strategies do you recommend for businesses and creators to stay ahead of trends without getting overwhelmed?
I love this question. So, I think there are a couple of trends that we're going to see all over on social media and Insta as well. And I think one of those things that has been also happening in 2024 is quality content versus the quantity. So I think it's going to be easier maybe for people to also stay ahead of trends and create content because quality content it's going to get prioritized more. Content that has more value in it, more long form content, hopefully, with the introduction of the 3 minute reels on Instagram. TikTok has had it for a while, and YouTube, of course, the king of long form content. I think it's going to make a comeback because people are now looking for more quality, they're looking for more connection, they're looking for better content to consume because there is just so much content out there to be seen. So I think in order to really stand out, you need to focus on your quality of the content, the information that you're sharing, the resources that you're providing, more so than just posting to post. So it's kind of like a trend, but maybe also like anti-trend in a bit, where kind of like you don't need to follow every trend. You don't need to constantly be on top of things and feel overwhelmed because there's a new trending audio, because you know that with quality content that you create, you can still get results, right? And that is going to benefit everyone. It's going to benefit creators, business owners, and the audience as well that just want better content.
I love the way that you focus on quality because there's that obvious distinction or the constant debate of quality versus quantity. And I think you brought up some really interesting points in regards to focusing on quality, but in a very smart way so that we're not so overworked. We're trying to build out like these routines in a way that is kind of strategic for us to do it in that smart way. I love that. Is there an example, as you kind of described with that, is there an example of how you do it yourself?
Yeah, so for example, when I first started focusing on Instagram, I posted every day, sometimes multiple times a day, just to feel like I can get ahead and to get the results that I want. But now I see that for myself and also for my clients that I'm managing, and just in general, what I'm seeing is that people can get results with just like posting a couple times a week, like 3 to 4 times a week. They don't need to be active every day. They don't need to be posting every second. And they still grow incredible communities, and their audience is really engaged, and their content is getting seen by more people, even if they have a small account. So I think that is like one of the benefits of quality content. You can create less of it as long as it's good and it's going to resonate with more people.
I definitely agree with what Michelle said of, making sure that you have that quality content first, which really comes into play when you think about your overall strategy. You should already have, set ideas or content that you are going to be posting throughout the week or the month that aren't trends. That's like your core value that you're giving to your audience. And then for myself at least, I fill in with trends when I have that time, when I have the extra energy, or when I have a great idea that just comes to me, or a cool trend just seems to fit my niche perfectly, and it's simple to create. I don't rely on the trends. I rely on the fundamentals of my strategy, my messaging first, then I add in the trends. And I mean, a lot of the times trends are funny or entertaining, and it's easy for you to just quickly adapt to them and create something if you know your audience. So, my biggest tip here is if you want to stay on top of trends, know who you're speaking to, know what struggles they have, know what goals they have, know the funny, relatable things that they can say, oh my gosh, that's me too. And that way you can really use the, like, 3 to 5 reoccurring relatable struggles over and over for every trend. You just change it a little
Yeah.
bit to fit that trend. But I mean, I do this all of the time. I just posted one, I think, was it Friday this weekend, about, calling up Instagram, asking if the algorithm is allergic to my content. Like, I know that my ideal person struggles with the algorithm and wants to really master the algorithm. So, using that trend in audio that was, it was blowing up right then when I decided to use it, it was easy because I knew that it worked with my audience struggles and a relatable thing that they care about. And then you can teach a little bit more or connect a little bit more in the copy on screen or your caption. But allowing yourself to stay on top of everything really comes down to knowing who you're speaking to and being clear with that message.
Knowing who you're speaking to is such an underrated key tip in regards to, and I wouldn't even just apply it to just Instagram. I think just in regards to social media, a business owner, knowing your target audience and who you're speaking to, and then learning how to communicate with them, because each of these individuals are, they receive messages differently. So the fact that you're talking about that in regards to not overworking yourself but to create and work with these social media trends is such a great tip to make it relatable to them, because when we come across these pieces of content like you're describing, we see ourselves in it, kind of as you're stating, like we're saying, oh, I can see myself doing that, or I've experienced this before. So it's very relatable in that aspect, and I love the fact that you brought it up in that manner, because um, I don't think that's something that everybody can deny. I think that's something that we could all work around and figure out in the best way using those tips that you just shared. So you might see right here on the screen the stress of content creation. Pretty much, this is coming from, I believe it's Tasty Edits, which is a video producer app, and they polled their audience. 75% of content creators polled by this video platform stated that they are stressed, and 22% of them are stressed very often. I don't know about you guys, but that seems way too high of a number in this position as a content creator. That is something that should not be the norm. But unfortunately, in today's world where we have Instagram, we have Threads, we have TikTok, we have so many different platforms to try to keep up with and create content for, that it's getting so hard and difficult to actually manage to do a part of the business that should just be a small part, and it's almost like it's encompassing our entire business in a way. We feel like, sometimes I hear that phrase, I don't know if you've heard the phrase, Megan and Michelle, but it's like you have to work on the business but not in the business 24/7. And it's something that I feel like a lot of people are getting to the norm of working in the business, even if they are the founder or the president of these companies, which is just not the way to do it. If you ask me, I feel like that is absolutely not the right way to do it. I want to share my tip in regards to this question. I think we've all done it. We've all had this doom scroll where we're on Instagram, we're on the TikTok tab, and we're just scrolling by. And I feel like we could put that time to better use. So what I like to do is I like to scroll with attention whenever I have free time. Like if I'm watching a sports game, or I'm watching football, it's about to be the Super Bowl soon, and we know they got tons of commercials, or a soccer game, or whatever the sport may be. I like to fill in that time during the commercials, and I'll scroll a little bit on Instagram, but I'm scrolling with intent. So I'm looking for particular pieces of content that I find interesting. I think that I could reutilize myself. And then I save it to the Instagram collection, and I'll name the collection. I name it Reels Research. So even when I see the folder, I'm thinking, okay, this is for Reels Research. I'm not going to go down the doom scroll and start liking a bunch of dog videos and going down a rabbit hole. So I want to say, avoid the doom scroll as best as you can. Give yourself a time limit or some form of constraint, like I did with the commercials in between the sports matches. Save the post based on editing techniques. Maybe it's a certain audio that you come across on a reel. I think that would be interesting. Save whatever captures your interest, and then come back to it at a certain point in time when you're ready to when you're prepared to actually create a post. I think you could come back at that point and then just spend some time in that same collection and just be inspired by what you found earlier. Maybe you might have found it during the week, you might have found it the day before. Get inspired from it and naturally let the idea come to you instead of feeling like you need to do research at a certain point in time. You're like, you have to post on Monday and you wait till Monday to figure out what the post is, and then next thing you know, you don't have any ideas. And we've kind of all experienced that to some degree. That was my idea in regards to trying to stay ahead of trends, because when you're in that feed, you're seeing all of the latest trends, and you could just save it for later. You can save it for the next day or whatever like that. So that's what I like to suggest for everybody.
That's such a good tip. And having intention behind what you're actually doing on social media. I'm always saying that. Like, I don't really consume blindly that often, but I'll add a tip there. It is fun still sometimes to just scroll mindlessly and, enjoy the content you're consuming that maybe doesn't have to do with your niche. And so when that is the case, I personally have my business page and my personal page. And I just know when I'm on when I'm on my business one, I'm not scrolling like just to scroll, right? I have an intention behind it. And on my personal page, you said dog videos. I'm like, are you on my personal page, explore page? Like, are you watching me? Because that's all it is. So I know that on that page, I can scroll mindlessly, and that also will help you see a more variety of trends because you're going
Yeah.
to see other niches creating different types of trends, and you can take that trend and then fit it into your niche.
Do you find yourself doom scrolling as well, Michelle? Or are you like very intentional with your
Yeah.
scrolling on Instagram?
All the time. My guilty pleasure is TikTok. So I get caught up on TikTok more than I do on Insta because, again, like Meagen said, when I'm on my like professional business account, it's all business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I usually doom scroll on TikTok, but it's also good because there are trends on TikTok happening that will come to Instagram soon. So I'm always like, oh,
Yeah.
I love this. Let me like keep this in mind. This will be like a trend that maybe like we can do as well. And also like I have my personal account that is also just like filled with all the memes and the dog videos and yeah,
There's
cute
so many of
things
them.
that
So
have
many of them.
nothing to do with business.
Yeah, yeah. I think we've all been through that. But I love the tips that you all shared in regards to that question about strategies we recommend for businesses and creators to stay ahead of trends without getting overwhelmed. Guys, please take these strategies that we just listed to heart. Thank you for watching this video on the topic of social media trends. If you got any value or insight from this convo or just simply enjoyed the content, please remember to like this video. And if you want to check out our next live video or catch the replay, please hit that subscribe button and join the community here on my YouTube channel. Speaking of more videos, here's one that I think you'll enjoy. So tap or click the video on the screen right now, and I'll see you over there.